Goals to win at 4-2, tie the series at 2 games apiece. Now the Sockers open the scoring in the first period. Jim Gabarra putting him in front 1-0. He goes up high for the goal. And the Sockers then took a 2-0 lead in the second. George Fernandez with a left foot comes in front and scores. And check out his celebration. Now the Sockers had a pair of mental lapses defensively. The give and go off the free kick tattoo cut the lead to 2-1 at the half. Then in the third, an embarrassing moment for Gabarra. Accidentally tips in the equalizer for Dallas. But midway through the fourth, Juan Hermes, who played despite a leg injury, converted a nice pass into a game-winning goal as the Sockers led it 3-2.
Fortunately, that was the goal that we needed to break the game away from them. It was a tie 2-2 game, and that was the goal that really broke their spirit.
You really sort of one-timed it. You got rid of it quickly.
Right, I had to. I was inside the box, and I knew if I control it that somebody's going to be right up my button. So I wouldn't think twice about taking that shot.
An empty net goal by Wes Wade gave the Sockers a 4-2 win, but a lot of credit has to go to goalkeeper Zoltan Toth, who came up big down the stretch. Game 5 Tuesday night at the Sports Arena.
Exciting win tonight for the Sockers. Juan Hermes, the winning goal. Sox win tonight 4-2. They even their series now with Dallas. Familiar pattern to this game. Once again, a very physical game. Sockers took the lead in the first quarter. Jim Gabarra from Paul Wright. It's 1-0. Bronco Segota once again bottled up tonight, and so George Fernandez working both ends of the floor. Hey, George says, I play defense, I can score too, I can also dance. George a little excited, never seen that one. 4 penalties in the first half today. This one not hard to call. Brian Quinn goes down. Now watch when he gets up. Whoops. Quinn called for kicking. Yeah, you fight fire with fire.
They've played that way all season, and I feel that if we don't match them in that physical aspect, we can't beat them. So at least if we match them, then hopefully we'll have a chance. But in the games that they have won, they just pounded us.
You know, you can kick, bite, scratch. Nothing seems to stop Tattoo. Dallas tied the game in the third quarter. That sets up Hermes, scores the winner. Final is 4-2. Only letdown tonight, the crowd, just over 6,000.
Disappointing thing was the fans, you know. We really feel that what we've done for San Diego, and they always brag about us. We have a championship soccer team. I think we need them to come out, because I think with them, they're going to really help us to win another championship.
And several others saying the fans that do show up are great. There's just not enough of them. Series tied at 2 games now. Game 5 on Tuesday at the arena. The other semi.
Well, let's kick it off at the Sports Arena. The Sockers and Dallas Sidekicks are on a collision course. One goes to the Missile Finals, the other goes home. Late in the first period, Paul Wright dug it out of the corner. Jim Gabarra rewarded his hard work. 1-0 Sockers. Now Zoltan Toth kept it that way with 2 point-blank saves within 5 seconds. Then with the Sockers short-handed, Wright went back to work. He set up George Fernandez. George with the goal, and he gives all the credit to Paul Wright.
You know, I just let him get the ball, and I tried to clear the space for him and, you know, give him some room. And I cut across him, and he just made a nice little flick pass to me, and my man went down. I just beat him inside and just put it in.
Dallas tied the game in the third period. Gabarra tried to clear the ball, but missed just slightly. It was 2-2. About 4 minutes into the final period, Cacho to Juan Hermes. He one time to pass Chris Sobieski. A big goal.
Yeah, Mike, you know, we needed that goal, you know, to break the game away from them, because it could have gone either way. I think we outplayed them tonight. You know, it was a difficult game. Every game is going to be a difficult game. It's best of 3 series now, and we're just happy to tie the series now.
Final few ticks. Dallas with a 6th attacker, but it backfired. Wes Wade hit the empty net. The Sockers win at 4-2. That ties the series at 2 wins each. So game 5 of the series Tuesday at the Sports Arena. Rick, it could be a significant game in soccer's history.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, Mike. 10 Sports has learned that Sockers owner Ron Fowler will either sell all his interest in the team or bring in more partners. Fowler told me he'll make a decision in the next 30 days. Fowler says he's pleased with the progress the MISL is making, but he says his other businesses might force him out of the soccer business. Now, attendance has been better in the past. Only 6,000 fans were there tonight. Despite that, Fowler says the time is right for people to get in.
We're going to bring in some investors, because it's always been our plan to have broad-based ownership in San Diego. We just didn't want to do it until we felt the economics were there.
And Fowler says there are local people willing to invest in the club.
Well, I have some friends who have expressed an interest, but I'd rather keep them as friends. I have told them that this year looks like the time we'll do it. We've also heard over the last 2 or 3 months from probably 8 or 10 other people who I think are legitimate investors. So I think there's an investor pool there that we'll put our pro forma or private offering together, and then we'll go out and talk to them.
You know, the thing that's baffling to me, we've had the ABA here, the WHA, the NBA with owners who flew the coop. They wouldn't support sports in San Diego. Fowler is putting his money where his mouth is, and I think it's time for the fans, if they really want to see soccer exist in San Diego, to get out there.
Yeah, Ron's done a very good job. Bought the team out of bankruptcy a couple years ago, but the thing is, a lot of people are afraid to invest because they're going to lose money, especially on new teams, new franchises. You're going to lose a lot of money in the MISL. It's still, no matter what, it's been in the, 10, 11 years, it's not an established game yet.
No, I guess a lot of people don't think of it as being Major League,
right,
but it is. It's the best dynasty in sports.
Right. Well, at least the Sockers are Major League because they win almost every year.
They do amazing things in the playoffs.
They're a great playoff team. They won tonight. They beat Dallas 4-0. 4-0. Brian Quinn could be the best clutch player of all time. A must game for the Sockers, and Quinn came up with a goal, and he assisted on 3 others. He had to take up the slack because Bronco Segota couldn't play because of a hip injury. He was scratched right before the opening kick. So the Sockers had a breakaway right here. Nice teamwork, and Wes Wade did a terrific job of sticking with it as Quinn assisted on that goal, and Wade scored. Here's another Quinn assist as his shot on another breakaway misses, but Paul Wright is there. He misses the first attempt but puts it in, and Victor Nogueira was terrific in goal. Watch this effort here. Great job. He's one-on-one with Tattoo, maybe the best goal scorer out there, and he blocks it. 15 saves for Nogueira, so the Sockers lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. The next 2 games are scheduled for Dallas. Game 6 Thursday night. Segota is expected back in the lineup Thursday. Baltimore, meanwhile, won the Eastern Conference title. The Blast beat Kansas City 7-2 to clinch that series, 4-2. Well,
He's just having an unbelievable playoffs. Got the assist there to Paul Wright. That made it 2-0. And then Quinn scored his own goal in the 4th quarter, his 5th of the playoffs. It was an empty netter, just fired it down there. So the final was 4-0. Victor Nogueira in goal for the Sockers tonight. And you know, obviously, when you come up with a shutout, you're going to come up with some good saves, and Nogueira did. He shut out the Dallas Sidekicks. So the Sockers lead the series 3-2. 2 games in Dallas now. All they have to do is win 1 to get into the finals against Baltimore. And I know it's only May.
Lost the game, it would have put a lot of pressure on us. Not to say that we would have been dead, but I think the pressure is all on them now to win 2 games at home.
So, Game 6 in Dallas on Thursday. The winner of this series plays Baltimore. The Blast tonight eliminated Kansas City. The news not as good.
Sockers first. They're in the MISL Finals. Familiar territory for the Sockers. They beat Dallas tonight 3-1 to clinch the Western Conference title, winning that series 4-2. Scoreless game until the 3rd quarter. Take a look at Bronco Segota back in the lineup after missing Game 5 with a hip injury. Great spin move there to the terrific pass out front to Paul Wright to make it 1-0 Sockers. 4th quarter tied at 1 apiece. That's Wright again after the beautiful pass from Marty Hermes. What a difference Wright has made since that midseason trade with Cleveland. Segota here. This is the final goal as he toys with the 6th attacker and puts it in. Sockers 3, Dallas 1. Sockers advance to the finals for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Incredible. Game 1 against the Blast Tuesday night in Baltimore.
San Diego teams tonight.
Yes, and the Sockers, it turned out to be a familiar ending to a rather unfamiliar year. Forget about the mediocre regular season. The Sockers are right where everyone expected them in the MISL Finals again. The Sockers win tonight in Dallas, 3-1 over the Sidekicks. Another great game in goal by Zoltan Toth. These saves in the first half, but Zoli, the goalie, did a fantastic job late in the game when Dallas basically took target practice on goal. Paul Wright, 2 goals tonight. Bronco Segota did play. Great pass to Wright, who scores! Surprise, Sockers win 3-1. They win the Western Division title over Dallas 4-2. They'll fly home tomorrow morning and then start the championship series against Baltimore next Tuesday.
Won to win the playoff series, so once again, after so many people counted them out, the Sockers are in the MISL Finals for the 8th time in 9 seasons. No score in this game till the 3rd period. Bronco Segota in the corner to Paul Wright made it 1-0. Early in the 4th now. Dallas comes back. The ball in front to Beto. The man with 1 man tied it at 1. Then Juan Hermes steals the ball from the Sidekicks and gets it ahead to Paul Wright on a great play. He shoots and scores 2-1 Sockers. Then with 23 seconds left in the game, Segota adds insurance. The defender can't do much against him. 3-1 the final. in Dallas as the Sidekick fans, they're headed for home. Sockers win the series 4-2, open the finals Tuesday in Baltimore.
Playoffs gives the Sockers a 1-0 lead. Sox scored 3 straight goals to lead at halftime 3-0, but the second half was all blast. Great goal by Freddie Thompson. That gave Baltimore a 5-4 lead. A couple of gimmies late in the game for Baltimore made it 7-4. So the Sockers will have to come back to beat Baltimore for the 4th straight time in the MISL Finals. More highlights and a new stolen base leader in the American League.
Confident, I'm confident.
They have been fine so far in the playoffs.
Somebody has to be optimistic, because Bob won't be.
Yeah. It won't rain on them, though. Right, Bob? No rain odds indoors. The players in the Baltimore Blast are convinced they can beat the Sockers this time around. And after the second half tonight, there are probably a few Sockers who think it might be possible, too. The Blast fell behind 3-0, then outscored the Sockers 7-1 in the second half to take Game 1 of the MISL Finals by a score of 7-4. This was the first half. Wes Wade, the ball was bouncing around all kinds of crazy ways, so he just put it in for the score. Great effort here. This is Wadi Hermes on the nearly bicycle kick to make it 3-0. That was the halftime score. But then things went all for the Blast in the second half as they scored 7 times. This one by Rusty Troy, as again some crazy bounces right there. 7-4 the final. So the Blast take Game 1, Game 2 Thursday night in Baltimore.
It was a good example of the entire season. They had a great first half and then fell apart in the second half, but the stage is set for another Sockers-like comeback. They do a great Jekyll and Hyde routine in Baltimore tonight. Sockers lose Game 1 of the MISL Finals 7-4. Again, the Sockers with a great start. They scored 3 unanswered goals in the first half. Brian Quinn, the first off a Blast defender, made it 1-0. Wes Wade and Wad Hermes also scored. But what was in the Sockers' halftime potion? Terrible play here. Victor Nogueira got caught way out of the box. Paul Doherty, the former Socker, with the goal. And then Rusty Troy for Baltimore tied the game 3-3 in the third quarter. Sockers then got the lead back on a goal by Paul Wright. But then the game winner, a beautiful goal. Header there by Freddie Thompson. Nice shot. Blast go on to win 7-4. They lead the best-of-7 series now by a game.
Very important win. This was in the third period. Mobilia with that score there broke a 1-1 tie. Baltimore goes out to a 2-1 lead, but then in the fourth, the Sockers will come on and score. Segota there, and the Sockers take a lead at 3-2, and then with an extra attacker on with a goalie out, Brian Quinn puts it in the empty net. Sockers went out to a 4-2 lead, and then later on...
Closing in on their 3rd straight MISL championship, folks, the sports arena was electric tonight. They blasted Baltimore early and often to take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Sockers wanted to set the tone early, and they did just that. Bronco Segota scoring a power play goal 7.5 minutes into the game. Now, later in the first, it was Wes Wade making it 2-0 Sockers, and you had the feeling it might be a rout. Now watch this move by Segota coming up. He scored his 2nd of the night, 3rd in 2 games to make it 3-0. Sockers led 4-0 at the half and won 5-2. Rod Castro scoring their last goal of the night. Game 4 of the series with the Blast is Monday night at the Sports Arena, and the Sockers definitely have the momentum.
We can't play less than this in order to beat Baltimore, because Baltimore, I think, are the best team in the league, and they've shown that over the season. And unless we played to our total capacity, you know, we could still let it slide. So it's another game. You know, we're in the lead now, and we just got to hope that now the next one we can put them down one more time and keep the pressure on them.
This is nearly as important as my wife having a next baby.
Who won 11,000 on hand, first period, power play. Nice passing. Paul Wright set up Bronco Segota. He blasted one in off Scott Manning. Now later in the period, Ralph Black to Jim Gabarra to Wes Wade. Wade on the one touch. Manning never had a chance. It was 2-0 Sockers. Then a timely goal. A second left in the period. Segota, a nice spin move. 3-0 San Diego. Before the half ended, Wright and Ben Collins combined to really put this one out of reach. The Sockers would add another goal. In the third period, Rod Castro up the margin to 5-0. Baltimore with a pair of late goals, but this one was all Sockers. 2-1. Now, do the Sockers really believe all that stuff that the Baltimore Blast is coming out with in the media?
To tell you the truth, I don't take that very seriously, because during the play of like the championship series, people say a lot of things to motivate the team, and you can't blame Stankovic. He's trying to pick up the young guys on the Baltimore team. I'm just so happy that we got 5 veterans that won at least 5 championships, and they don't have to talk in the paper to motivate us. They tell us in the locker room. So that's the difference between Baltimore and San Diego.
A lot of us have been around a little bit, and we know that there's certain reasons sometimes players on the opposing team say certain things in the press. So we just got to go out there, and win the games and let the play on the field speak for itself.
You should leave everything on the field and not in the press. I mean, if you can't back it up, then you look really bad.
Are you saying that Baltimore can't back it up?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, the old saying, you can't, count your chickens until they're hatched. You have to go out there and play. It's 7 games. We're not going to lie down and let them win it, so they're going to have to come and beat us now.
Game 4 comes up tomorrow night.
And they just stoke it up in the playoffs.
Sure do.
It's like another year for them, I'll tell you. Sockers are 1 win away from their 3rd straight MISL championship, and they can now wrap it up Wednesday night at the Sports Arena. Tonight in Game 4 with Baltimore, they waded through the blast. Forward Wes Wade had the best game of his career. He broke a scoreless tie in the 3rd with his first goal. Nice run, nice shot. 1-0 San Diego. The Blast tied it, but late in the 3rd, the Blonde Bombers scores again. Wade giving San Diego a 2-1 lead. After Segota made it 3-1 in the 4th, Segota takes a shot right here. Wade there for the rebound. He completes a hat trick. The Sockers finished off a 4-1 win to take a 3-1 lead in that best-of-7 series. And watch the hats on the field at the Sports Arena.
Key to it was hustle. The first half we were kind of flat. The second half came out a little bit harder, worked together a little bit more, and got some more goals.
Season game, so I think the Sockers should take precedence regardless of base of support. They had, how's that for an explanation? How's that for justifying a lead story? 7,800 at the arena tonight, and the Sockers, who were really ordinary all season long, now they're a game away from a championship. Wes Wade, the first of his, count 'em, 3 goals tonight, as in hat trick. That was in the 3rd, and made it 1-0. And then Wade again makes it 2-1 Sockers, breaks the tie, also in the 3rd. Then in the 4th, from Wad Hermes, there's Segota, there's the goal, and the Sockers are on their way to a 4-1 win. Unbelievable. I mean, this team had a losing record for the regular season. Segota again on the rebound. There's Wade, 3rd hat-trick goal. So the Sockers win 4-1. They lead the series 3-1. Baltimore's in deep stuff.
And just forget it. I mean, these guys are money players. They beat Baltimore tonight 4-1, so they lead that series 3-1. They can wrap up another championship Wednesday night at the Sports Arena. No scoring until the 3rd quarter. Then the Sockers scored first. Wes Wade, that long, blonde, flowing hair right there. Just nice scores.
We've noticed.
Yes, okay, 1-0. Kind of looks like your hair, Cameron. And Baltimore tied up, and the Sockers took over. Paul Wright, Wes Wade again. He had the hat trick tonight. That made it 2-1. Then Segota scored his 4th in 3 nights. 7th in the playoffs. That one came with about 8 minutes left in the game. And the Sockers led at that point 3-1. They won it 4-1. So the Sockers lead the series 3-1. They can end it all and not have to go back to Baltimore if they beat Baltimore Wednesday night at the Sports Arena.
And for the rest of the weekend, the Sockers will have to make the cross-country flight. But at least they got a crowd.
Yeah, they did get the crowd. They got half of what they wanted. They also had a players-only meeting after the game. I think they really wanted to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
They are scared about going back to Baltimore. Not a happy feeling. For the 3rd straight year, the Sockers had a chance to win an MISL title at home, and for the 3rd straight year, they couldn't get it done on their home field. The Sockers, before a sellout crowd, fell behind the Blast in the 1st period. Dominic Mobilio's goal, and it's 1-0. While Baltimore had the lead, the Sockers had a lot of chances. The only problem is Baltimore goalie Scott Manning was up to the challenge every time. Blast extended their lead to 2-0 in the 3rd on a goal by Peter Ward, giving him some breathing room. And then the Sockers tried to come back. Segota's 100th career playoff goal cut the lead to 3-1 in the 4th. And with 2.5 minutes to go, Brian Quinn scored with an extra attacker to make it 3-2. That was the final. That's how the series stands in favor of the Sockers. Game 6 Friday night in Baltimore.
We just got to get mentally prepared to go back and fight. It's going to be a battle back there. It's going to be a little war, and especially with the games back-to-back, we just got to be ready right now, mentally prepared to go back there and win.
Great scenario. Great scenario. They had this is the 1 year ago today to the day that they had a chance to win and clinch against Baltimore in the arena, and they didn't do it. Now they get another chance the next year, exactly a year later, and they don't do it again. Just wonderful. That's what kind of, who wrote this script? Well, what's the problem here? They had a huge crowd, over 12,000. We're talking like 13,000 close. And Dominic Mobilio in the first made it 1-0 blast. Then until the fourth. And then it was Paul Daugherty, the ex-Socker, who scored. And then after it was 3-0, it was basically done. Segota got his 100th playoff goal. And then Quinn, who had assisted on Segota's goal, scores, but they lose 3-2 to Baltimore. They got to go to Baltimore for Friday.
We're not worried about our road performance anymore. We think we can. We think we can win on the road, so we're undaunted. It's just that it would have been nice to win in front of your fans if you're going to win.
Play off the boards after Valentine got it. He played the ricochet, and Ward was there. 2-0 for Baltimore. Paul Daugherty, he got in the right position in the right time, so you just came across the goal crease, kicked it right in. It was 3-0. The Sockers finally got some goals. Fourth quarter, Bronco Segota, the 100th career playoff goal. Brian Quinn shot it. Segota was there for the rebound, 3-1. Then Quinn just decided, let's try it. Left foot, got it in, 3-2. And then the Sockers went all out to tie this thing up. They almost did too, but George Fernandez right there just missed getting it in. So Baltimore hung on and won it 3-2. So that means this series definitely going back to Baltimore Friday night. Sockers have to win 1 out of 2 there to win the championship. And the only thing that is certain right now is that there won't be any more home games for the Sockers. The season will end, definitely will end in Baltimore. Hopefully Friday when the Sockers win it.